Well, you took your sweet ass time. Let's... You've done some great work. Thanks to the task my subordinate... We now have... I'm in the beginning stages of planning out an assault on the fort. Once our forces are in place in Garrett...
Sir, I don't know what happened. A bunch of Legionnaires just stormed into the power station.
Into the power station? How is that possible?
I don't know, sir. There was some talk of them entering through the clog intake tunnels, but I don't have any confirmation. On my way up here, there was some chatter about their commander, the Legate I think he's called, set up at some kind of base on the eastern bank.
Okay, listen here. Unless we can get some additional... You need to make your way to this camp they have on the...
Good gracious! The Legion is using the intake... I think that you should be able to divert the flow of the water into the... The computer to activate it is just ahead, but you may... Good gracious!
Let's get going. Greetings, courier. We caught word the battle was about to begin.
Alpha Squad reporting in. Thanks for the support back there. We've been assigned to ensure you make it to the Legate. How... Conf Cut it out, Wood.
There you are.
And who are you to come before me? You bear the insignia of the bear, yet you do not wear it as... Kaisar's will is the will of the Legion and the West. All beneath the... The West shall fall as the East. We shall see how brave... Damn you! Die, coward. And who are you to come?
Like that?
And who are you to...
Who's there? That's a fine bit of work back there. Truth told, I'm surprised you made... I'm impressed to say the least, and that's no easy thing. You secured... Least we could do. And seeing those shits of Caesar kicking dirt as they ran, did my... Might see some recruitment number rise, build some morale out in the... All due to you. Again, you have my thanks. And all the West, too. We clean up, take prisoners, watch the East for any more trouble from the Legion. After that, we'll see what happens when the dust settles and how the Mojave looks now. Something tells me we better enjoy this breather while we can. And if that means Vegas, then you and... Can't keep the courier spirit down, eh? Kind of curious how this is going to pan out in the long run. But I guess history will tell us in its own sweet time.
And so the courier who had cheated death in the cemetery outside Good Springs cheated death once again, and the Mojave wasteland was forever changed. The new California Republic celebrated its second victory at Hoover Dam, establishing definitive control over the entire Mojave wasteland. Soon after, they negotiated terms to annex the Strip, Freeside, and many surrounding communities. The Mojave wasteland, at long last, had entirely fallen under the NCR's banner. The courier, fair and even-handed in his dealings throughout the wasteland, was honored by the NCR for his support of the military at Hoover Dam. He was presented with the Golden Branch, the highest civilian decoration given by the Republic.
Though some super mutants in Nightkin continued to journey to the legendary Utopia, they found little trace of its existence. Some eventually found their way to Jacobstown, but many wandered off into the wastes, confused and disheartened.
With the help of the Gunrunners, the Boomers developed a healthy trading relationship with the NCR. Eventually, the Boomers began wandering out into the wasteland while still preventing outsiders from entering Nellis.
The Brotherhood and the NCR in the Mojave wasteland declared an official truce, despite continued hostilities between the two in the west. As per their agreement, the NCR handed over all suits of salvaged power armor, and in return, the Brotherhood helped patrol I-15 and Highway 95.
Their leaders destroyed by the courier, the fiends scattered throughout the wasteland. Without the organization of Motor Runner, Cook, Violet, and Driver Nephi, they were easy prey.
After the NCR's victory at the dam, the followers of the Apocalypse were pushed out of Old Mormon Fort during its occupation by NCR forces. NCR further encouraged them to leave Outer Vegas entirely, and the followers had no choice but to comply.
Good Springs saw more trade along I-15 after NCR gained control of the Mojave wasteland. But with that came a heavy burden of the Republic's taxes. Some old-timers, unable to handle the cost, were forced to move on, grumbling all the while.
Rose of Sharon Cassidy died as her caravan died. In an unmarked grave, another victim of the Mojave.
After the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, the Great Khans returned for a time to Red Rock Canyon. The NCR's pressing need to expand proved greater than its promise of amnesty, and before long the government decided the Khans had to go. The surviving Great Khans were relocated to an isolated, barren reservation, well north of NCR trade routes.
With no cure for the Nightkin schizophrenia in sight, the disgruntled Nightkin left Jacobstown. Without a treatment, their insanity grew. The crazed Nightkin terrorized the wasteland, and Jacobstown suffered repeated reprisals from mutant-hating humans. In the end, the surviving mutants abandoned Jacobstown entirely, its existence quickly forgotten by the rest of the wasteland.
After the NCR victory at Hoover Dam, the temporary truce between them and the Kings blossomed into a full-scale relief effort for the people. While the NCR made repeated entreaties that Freeside join the Republic, the Kings steadfastly maintained their independence.
After Ray's brain was transplanted into Rex's cybernetic body,
It took Rex some time to adjust to the old scrapyard dog's memories. Eventually, Rex's mind settled peacefully, melding his own memories with that of long travels with old Lady Gibson.
Driven into a frenzy by their use of Psycho, the Misfits inflicted heavy casualties on the Legion during the defense of Camp Golf. At first, they were commended for their valor, but eventually, desperate for more of the chem, they turned on travelers in Outer Vegas. For their dishonorable conduct, the NCR court-martialed and executed them by firing squad.
Though Novak was a low-priority target for the Legion, many of Novak's citizens died in its defense. In the weeks that followed, several bright followers returned to Novak to help restore its defenses, allowing it to remain independent of NCR.
With the dam firmly in their grasp, the NCR turned its attention towards wresting the correctional facility from Powder Ganger hands. The Powder Gangers are no match for the battle-hardened troops of the NCR, and summary execution awaited the Powder Gangers who managed to survive.
Armed with a wide array of improvised explosives and stolen weapons, the Vault 19 Powder Gang tormented the Mojave Wasteland for years. Citizens of the NCR were favored targets, and they always suffered the worst fates.
After Hoover Dam, NCR helps rebuild Primm as a major stopping point on the Long 15. Though Primm citizens chafe under NCR's taxes, they benefit greatly from the increased protection and merchant traffic.
And so the Courier's Road came to an end, for now. In the new world of the Mojave Wasteland, fighting continued, blood was spilled, and many lived and died just as they had in the old world. Because war never changes.